Hello and welcome to the second part of the Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. And in the last episode we ventured through the Hong Kong docks where we were ambushed by the police force, and unfortunately we have to run away and defeat few of them. And today we will be entering the city of Kowloon. So enjoy the game and let's continue. Sinless. You scrambled up a ladder and through an accessway where the sewer system spits you out into the Hong Kong Mass Transit railway system, the MTR. Crossing the rails, you climb up to the platform and into the station. Above you is Hioi, where the Red Shaman and the Little Dagger plan to plead your case to Kindly Cheng, the one woman they know who can help you get underground and off the grid fast, but there will be a price. Cheng is a triad boss whose favors tend to come with strings attached. The sounds of a waterfront and night leak down from the stairways to the surface, pinning up steps. You can catch a glimpse of the night sky, overcast and low. Hello again. The dog days. I decided to go for a Decker and a little bit melee, but I really don't know if this was a good choice or not, and I think I messed up 1 point already in the wrong stat, so we'll see how this will go. I kind of forgot what kind of stats allocation you need to build a proper character. It's a long time I played any Shadowrun games as well, and this one was on the table for a very long time. To be honest, I have absolutely no clue what the Shadowrun setting is, with the exception of Shadowrun Returns and Shadowrun Dragonfall. I just played blindly. All I know that I got the Shadowrun Returns from Shady Sands, and I really enjoyed the first game, so I purchased the two new parts as well. So the system is completely new to me. Yeah, I enjoyed the both games in before, and somehow I learned how to get better into the games, but it's probably more than a year or two when I played the Dragonfall last time, so kind of rusty about the rules, especially on meleeing and the implants. So I don't think the melee and implants work together, but we'll see. Karma gained 5. The sewers deposit you into a series of mechanical accessways that eventually link to a system of railway tunnels. Goblet leads you through 5 or 6 magnetically sealed doors and across several sets of electrified tracks until she indicates you've reached your destination.
Hold the handrail and take care of children and the elderly.
She holds up her hand and indicates the surrounding platform. This is the MTR station for HOA. Once you go up those stairs, you'll be in our neighborhood. Kindly check runs her operation out of Mahjong Parlor, were called Swiftwinds. Is Mahjong or Mahjong? Don't know. We'll be using Mahjong. Who rips off his goggles? There's an APB out on us. How do you expect us to get to this Swiftwinds place without taking a bullet? Oh, Hioi is well known as protected area. Kindly Cheng sees to that. It's a shadow community. Smugglers, hijackers, black marketeers. You get the idea. Cops tend to give the place a wide berth. Isabel gives a shallow nod. Her gaze remains planted on the floor. Police cameras don't last long here. Between the smoke and the cloud cover, we shouldn't have to worry about drone surveillance either. The HKPF won't find you. Not if you follow our lead. Gobbet widens her stance, puts her hands on her hips. Now, here's how this is going to work. You can get an audience with Schenk until we secure you an invitation. So me and Is will go on ahead and pay our respects. Then we'll request that she see you politely. And audience, what is she? A queen? Her arms cross and her eyebrows raise high. As far as you're concerned, yeah, she is the Queen of Kowloon. Goblet holds up a hand. One more thing, Kyle Cheng is a dangerous woman. She may seem friendly, but don't let your guard drop. And whatever you do not disrespect her. Got it. She drops her hand, nods to the three of you. That's it, we'll go on ahead and smooth the way. Just give us a few minutes head start. And don't talk to anyone. If this place is protected, why shouldn't we talk to anybody? She rolls her eyes and lets out a little grunt. I said the place was protected, not you're protected. Isabel fiddles with her deck. No one knows you here, and outsiders aren't welcome in here. Gobbet eyes woo up and down. Plus, your friends here radiates cop. Cops are even less welcome than outsiders. Then she looks your way. And you're not exactly ordinary either, are you? I like to think I have a certain flair. She smiles for the first time. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If people see us strolling through town together with no prior explanation, we might not make it to the Mahjong parlor at all. How do we know you're not gonna bolt on us? She squints at you, confused. Because we need your sins burned as badly as you do. And we need to figure out a way out of this shit. Or we're all dead. Plus, we could use the muscle right now. Her voice turns sheepish. Just saying. She quickly turns away. She see you at the Mahjong parlor. The Shadowrunner's footsteps quickly fall away, and then you're alone with Wu. He grunts something unintelligible and begins panther stalking back and forth again. footprints of sewer water and muck marking
TSA
his path
escalator.
on the subway
Hold the
platform behind
handrail
him.
and take out children and the
Minutes
elderly.
pass, Wu stops his pacing and runs both hands over his face, groaning a sound of anxiety and disgust. It dissipates and he stands there silently, his hands covering his face and his shoulders shaking with emotion. Then he begins to laugh. It's a laugh that comes from down deep, from the place where fear and frustration and impotence swirl. But the barrier halts. He focuses, taking control of his breathing, and his laughter begins to slow. He becomes himself again. Oh my god, FH. An aftershock of laughter shudders through him. Are you fucking kidding me?
Children and the elderly.
What the hell are we doing here? How did we get into this? He drops his hands and turns to you, shaking his head in disbelief. I think I'm gonna lose it. Do what you got to do, but make it fast. He glares at you. Make it fast? What? Carter is dead, FH. They fucking ended here. He puts a hand to his forehead. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. It sounds like she was more than just your partner. He turns to you with a blank face. More than just a partner? Of course she was. Then he gets it and his hackles rise. She was my training officer, you idiot. My mentor. It looked like you two were close. Wu waves off. Wu waves you off with a gnarled hand. Carter was my partner. She had my back. Do you get how important that is? What it means to lose that? When you're out there on the streets facing down a food riot, you need to know someone looking out for you. That you're standing next to someone you can depend on. That was Carter. His shoulders slump and he exhales heavily. And she was like my compass or my anchor or some such shit. She kept me, I don't know, sane? I get it. She was important too and she got killed. Now try to focus so you don't get killed. Who glares at you, his right hand flexing, then he steps back, sucking a deep breath.
Safe escalator.
Screw it, whatever she was, I'm throwing her down the memory hole. You know why? He snarls spits, because it doesn't matter now. Because we're gonna burn our sins, FH. Jesus Christ. Do you get what that means? The moment we do that, we're dead. To all the world, we're dead. We're wiped clean. He counts it off on his fingers. Raymond, the house we grew up in, my career, Carter, all gone. No
TSA
home,
escalator.
no money, no
Hold the
identity,
handrail.
nothing.
Take out children
He waves
and
his
the
hand,
elderly.
brushes it all away. We will be nobody. We were street kids, Duncan. We're used to being nobody. Just chill. Chill? Who the fuck are you to tell me to chill after what just happened? And you aren't losing what I'm about to lose, either. Our paths went in different directions a long time ago. Whose neck cranes forward, his lower jaw thrust out ahead of him. You let me behind, goddamn it. You let me behind. Memories flash bright. Suddenly, you're back 8 years ago on the street outside of Raymond's house. Just you and Wu. The middle of the night. Young Duncan. You can't just live like this, FH. What am I gonna say to Raymond? You know how he is. Yeah, I know how he is. Inflexible. Exactly. We're breaking one of his rules just being outside the house after curfew. What is so important that you have to run out now in the middle of the night without even telling Raymond why? He is distraught. You can see it on his face, hear it in his voice. He used to be lost without you. I've got a friend in a bind, Duncan. That's all I can say about it. I have to go help. His eyes widen. I thought I knew all your friends. He shakes his head. I don't like this, FH. It sounds like the kind of shit we said we'd leave behind. Look, whatever's going on, I can tell you one thing. Raymond will not approve. Raymond doesn't approve of anything but life of a wage slave. See you in a couple of days. You remember the look of Duncan's face as you walked away. The events that followed were a blur, one that you don't care to remember. 3 days later, you were behind bars in a private corporate prison. No interrogation, no charges, no appeal. Years later, some corporation bought some other corporation and the new board of directors pushed through some sort of reform agenda and the higher-ups gave an order. And then you were out with a few hundreds yuan to your name and one scary as hell non-disclosure agreement ensuring your silence. Not that it mattered to you anymore. You were starting fresh, determined. Until Raymond tracked you down, left you that voicemail, brought you to Hong Kong and back together with Duncan Wu. You realize that Wu's been staring at you. Now, let's hear it. Where the hell have you been all this time? Why didn't you contact me, at least to tell me you were alive? You're pissed that I didn't contact you? I was locked up, Duncan. For years. You're a cop. Why didn't you go looking for me? You think I didn't? I tried everything. You were completely off the grid. Information finally sinks in and the dials backed the attitude. And no, I understand why. Locked up, huh? Shit. A range of emotions play across Wu's face. He stares at the ground for some time before finally looking back up at you with a heavy sigh. Wow, I really don't know how to process that one right now. He shakes his head. I don't know if we're still alive tomorrow. We can talk more. This shit is too much. We're marooned on this island, hunted by cops. My partner is dead. Raymond is missing, and we're about to go see a crime lord about erasing our goddamn identities. And as a bonus, our only allies are a pair of tiny criminals who would kill us if they could, so they didn't have to deal with this. He rubs his head viciously. Listen, FH, back in the Barrens, whenever I was out of control, you just handled the situation, remember? With Carter grown, I'm just a raw nerve. I'm afraid I'm gonna slip back and people are gonna start getting hurt again. I got your back, Duncan. He stares at you hard, like he's trying to see something inside your head.
Be a safe escalator user.
His voice comes
Hold
out
the
flat.
handrail
We'll
and take
see.
care of children and the
Just don't
elderly.
press it. I need time to get used to you. Now, let's go meet the triad woman and get our damn sins burned. I want to rip off the bandage as fast as I can. Objective edit, go to the Mahjong parlor. Let's check the skill set. Hmm.
Be a safe escalator user. Hold the handrail.
Let's
Take
put
care
one
of
more into
children and the
cyberware
elderly.
affinity.
Be a safe escalator user. Hold the handrail and take care of children and the elderly.
Let's put one more point into the strength. And waterfront. Hey, a makeshift boat city latched onto the Gatalk riverfront like a parasite. Behind you, a massive snarl of dark and derelict high-rises dominates the horizon. The walled city. But I don't see a Mahjong parlor. So let's check. Frederick Cafe. Let's talk to Triad Guard. The Turk looks at you dead-faced despite his street clothes. He wears a high-tech earpiece. The entrance to the world city is closed to foreigners. That's close enough, friend. The club is members and invites only. I suggest you just move along. Gotcha. Okay, we'll check the intercom as soon as I check the surroundings of the harbor. Volto. The original name has been sloppily painted over with black paint. Newer but somewhat weathered characters have been painted in bold brush strokes and read Volto. Here is Margin Parlor. Smuggler. Just off the docks you spot a sea-worn man with a smile that's almost too wide for his head. His teeth shine white against the thick back bush of his beard. His clothes are myriad of colors, patterns and fabrics. A smattering of cultures draped across his body. If there's anything he's clearly advertising, it's the extent of his travels. You see something you like? His voice is coarse, like steel wool on your eardrums. Come and get it, because now's your last chance. Everything is on sale. Won't find a prices like these anywhere else, my friend. Those goods of yours look like they changed hands a few times. You're selling stolen merchandise? He shrugs the motion nonchalant and uncaring. I take what I can get. Sometimes I find things, sometimes I say things, and sometimes I play the game, invest a little, make a little something more in a return. He crosses his arms and looks you over. Why do you ask? You, judging a perfectly respectable businessman such as myself in these harsh times? You've never been in this business, I can see it. You've no right to fault me. Hey, I get it. You gotta what you gotta do. That's right, and I get by, thankfully. I've got no family to feed, just some crewmates, so I keep myself afloat. Even makes a little extra to enjoy life's fine things, like traveling. He nods his head approvingly. Anyway, I'm nearly stocked up, just a few more trades and a few more sales, and I'll be on my way to Macau. This is your last chance to buy any of my wares before I set sail. So have a look and take your time. You from around here? No, not I, not here. Plans to leave these waters soon as I wrangle up enough supplies to do so. He leans towards you, voice lower, breath surprisingly free of alcohol. There are things happening here. Locals call them dreams. I call them evil. And I don't want no more of this. What do you think they mean? He holds up a hand, face stern. No, do I look like a psychic to you? I've got no readings or meanings or any of that nonsense. Just a feeling in my gut, and it's saying to get out now. And if you know what's good to you, you'll leave these parts too. You really think they're that bad? You're just scared. Ooh. You really think that they're bad? That they're that bad? No doubt about it. They're evil, alright? And things like that will only get worse. And even if they don't, you'll never forget them. The feeling, the thoughts, they set into your mind like a stain. Show me what you're selling. Let's see. Create 4 squares of firewall that costs minus 25 IP. Let's buy it. Did I purchase that? Probably not. Anything else I can get for you? Won't be in town long, so if you need to buy, now's the time. Show me what you're selling. I did buy it. Let's buy 2 of them. Okay. The insulation on these heavy wires is cracked. They buzz and crackle occasionally as stray drips from the awning strike them. Let's try out that intercom. A massive steel security door is set into a bunker-like concrete wall. There is no sign or identification of what this place is. A battered intercom is encased in a cage of welded steel and armor glass. Brainy letters are barely readable on the screen. Chrome Alley, medical services and mechanical repair. Premises protected by deadly weapons and infectious disease. Press the buzzer. There's a crackle of static, then a brusque voice answers. What do you want? The voice Cantonese is precise, but the accent sounds American. Is this a medical clinic? No, it's a chicken factory. What do you want? I need a cyberdoc. Yeah, that's me. But listen, guy, I don't know you. I don't like people. I don't know who sent you. I'm friends with Isabel and Gobet. Yeah, those two do take some real prizes out of the river. You get Niger to watch for you. I'll consider giving you the time of day. Get it? You don't keep up with current events, do you? Niger's dead. There's a long silence in the intercom. Crying shame if that's true. And I saw that one coming. So, you just washed up with Isabel and Goblet, huh? You know what that tells me. You're here today and you'll be gone tomorrow. I'll keep my distance. Forget it, I'm going. Okay, the last thing is the Mahjong Parlor. Let's go in. The Swiftwind's Mahjong Parlor, filled with the stink of cigarette smoke, the incessant click-clack of Mahjong tiles, and the grim faces of hardened gamblers. Come in, we have a lot to talk about. Kindly check. Objective complete. Go to the Mahjong Parlor. You can feel every eye in the room as you cross the Mahjong Parlor to the middle-aged woman sitting patiently at its end. The click-clack of ivory-colored tile stops. Hands try beneath tables into jacket pockets, behind backs. The woman has the face of a prison guard and the demeanor of an inmate. Her salt and pepper hair is pulled into an iron-hard bun, and beneath it, two shiny black eyes offer nothing but odd buttons sewn on a doll. A nearly empty bottle of something full rests on her Mahjong table, nestled between a pair of dirty shot glasses. Tiny puddles of brown linger at their bottoms. Gobbet and Isabel stands on the other side of the table, heads lowered, shoulders slumped, hands clasped. They risk a frightened glance at you as you approached. Kindly Cheng voices nuzzle and rusty mean. My little pair of fuck-ups here told me all about what happened on the docks. She dips a pinky into shot glass, brings it to her mouth, removes it with a sharp smack. How two of my best runners had their heads put out. How you need protection, and how you need to get your identities right before you get your heads put out too. Potentially leading the head to my front door, placing me and everyone in my employ in danger. She fingers the rim of her glass, so wise, so very, very wise. The young shaman's eyes never leave the floor. We're sorry, Auntie, we thought. Her black eyes flash. You mustn't speak until you are spoken to, Gobbet, dear. The smile turns mean. And since you are the one short hair away from being dumped into the river chained to Isabel's corpse, I suggest you let your new friends here do the talking for a while. Does that make sense to you, dear? Her treacle voice is back, sweet, nasal, and grinding. Dark silk drizzling Gobbet's armpits. Yes, Auntie. Cheng inclines her head gently. Very good, you learned so quickly. Remain silent. She pours another drink. Her cheeks are rosy, already flushed. No, my darlings, I understand from a little red shit here that you came from Seattle to meet with my client, Mr. Black. Whose jaw tightens at the word client. But before you could find him, the HKPF started splattering grey matter everywhere, and everything went to shit. No, And now you need your sins burned so you can disappear before you end up dead too. Is that right? Yes, ma'am. Very good. Why don't we start with you telling me who you are? Call me Mamu. Oh, you already chosen a street name. How prescient of you. Cheng looks at you approvingly. Mamu, it's a good name. Has a real character. She flutters her eyelashes at you. Now, what's your real name? I mean, you do want me to erase your identities, don't you, dear? I need to know who you are first. FH. I'm a Decker. She rests her chin on a liver-spotted hand. Oh, like little Isabel here. I can't imagine traveling the Matrix. And how did you become a Decker? Let's just say I'm self-taught and leave it at that. Bullets out the ground. Better leave it at that. Kindly Cheng whips her head towards Wu, a nasty retort already on her lips. But then she stops, sticks out her lower lip as she sizes him up. She turns to her lieutenant standing behind her, nodding her approval. Looks like the gun show is in town. What's your name, gun show? Wu's focus remains straight ahead. Duncan Wu, I'm a cop, Lone Star. I hear there were some fresh corpses found on the docks tonight. Smugglers, I believe. Didn't sound like the Hong Kong police when I heard about it. You're doing Duncan Wu? Whose eyes remain fixed on a spot on the wall behind her. He smolders. I identified myself as a Lone Star, but they wouldn't stand down. They had weapons, and it was self-defense. She puckers her lips at him, her voice sing-song. I don't care, sweetie. They weren't my people. But no, I know you're a life-taker, Mr. Gun Show. You and your friend here. She begins arranging mahjong tiles on the table in front of her. But now I'm curious. Why were you meeting Raymond Black on the docks tonight? He is a friend. Said he needed our help. Cheng's black eyes flash. Really? You have a lot of 65-year-old friends who you'll fly around the world to help? He raises us. He raised us. Raymond Black is our foster father. That makes her pause. Cheng lifts her bottle of swill and eyes the label, connecting the dots in her own head. Interesting. A look of disgust passes over her face. Sorry kids, but he was looking like shit when I saw him. Eyes half open, dark circles around them, dragging his feet. The whole bit. Cheats and displeasure. Your foster daddy was in bad place. Sounds like he wasn't sleeping. Could be. From what he said, it sounded like he was having nightmares. He would stop in the middle of a sentence and mutter something to himself. One time it was about the walls breathing or something, and another time it was about teeth, thousands of teeth. I remember him drifting off near the end of our meeting. It looked like he was of somewhere else in his head, he said. I left prosperity in there. The night jar puts his hand on Mr. Black's shoulder, asks him why he wanted to go into the walled city so badly. That seemed to bring him back. When your old man opened his eyes, they were full of tears. Then he muttered something else I couldn't make out. She pours herself another shot, tosses it back and rubs her belly. Your daddy got really irritating after a while. How do you live prosperity? Do you think prosperity could be a person? I have no fucking clue. She grabs a long, slim cigar from a pack on the mahjong table, lights it. Alright, let's get to it. She exhales smoke and points two fingers at you and Wu. You two need your sins burned, and you need them burned fast. Hong Kong dragnets are bad news. When they roll in force. Armored personal carriers, heavy armor, heavy weapons, sorcerers, the whole thing, and they aren't coming to arrest you. She folds her arms across her chest. The thin cigar bobs in her mouth as she speaks. The good news is I can help you. With a wave of my hand, I can have your sin disappear. But you need to understand, my darlings, is that what you're asking for is not a simple request. Burning a sin isn't just deleting a number. It's wiping all reference to that number from all of the world's largest databases. It's masking your mugshot in their facial recognition database so that the first camera you walk past doesn't bring them down on you like a ton of bricks. It's covering our fucking tracks so that the act of burning your sin doesn't lead them right to us. It requires contacts in numerous corporations and the UCAS government. Smoke rolls out of the tried boss nose. It requires someone like me. Therefore, I need to make a choice. She takes another drag on her cigar and gently places her palm flat on the table. Do I kill you and dispose of your bodies before the cops come looking for you, or do I help you burn your sins? From what I read about the triads, your first priority should be your reputation. Two of your people were just killed. It is a loss of face. Cheng rests her chin on her hand again and smiles at you coldly. So clever, so clever. Her chin stays on her hand, but her eyes look past you, serving the yellow lotus soldiers in the room. Yes, I have been placed in a delicate situation, haven't I? Regardless, that's the situation, whether you're alive or you're sucking dirt. She stares at you for a long moment, chin still on hand, thinking. Taps her ash on the floor without taking her eyes off of you. A low, reluctant growl mumbles somewhere deep in her throat. You live. You're clever, and I like that. I'll put your sins to the torch. However, I'll need to call in several valuable favors within my network to do it, and those favors do not come cheap. Kindly Cheng steps under her cigar. You will owe me. Can't say I'm surprised. She pokes a finger in your direction. Of course not. You seem to have an understanding of how the world works. The give and take that is a part of every fruitful relationship. I want you to deliver a message from me to a business associate in the walled city. The Yellow Lotus has a strong presence inside of H. Isabel can tell you all about it. Can you, dear? Isabel grew up in the walled city. Isabel's eyes remained lowered. They collect taxes for the corporation, extort protection money from the shopkeepers, run drugs, gun people. They hurt people. We do those things, yes, but to be fair, we also operate the walled city black market. You might not be alive today if it weren't for the lifeline that we provide. Isabel clamps up tight. Cheng picks up a margin tile and turns it with her fingers. There is a red pole, a sort of enforcer, yes, on the inside. His name is Strangler Bao. Bao is a strong man, a good soldier, but he has forgotten his place. I need you to remind him. Let me guess, by remind him, you mean put a bullet in his head. No, if I wanted him dead, I would have said so. Don't jump to conclusions. You aren't any good at it. She tosses you a memory stick. This is a message for Bao. You will deliver it to him in my name, and then return to me. Remember, Mamu, Bao's men are my men. By right, they should all be serving me. I would prefer if you did it disquietly and without killing them. I have no use for dead soldiers. She turns to Goblet and Isabel. One of you will go with these two Westerners to the walled city, help them locate Bao, and show them the ropes. The other will remain here with me. I have several menial and degrading tasks that needs going around, and establishment. No matter who goes and who stays, you'll both pay for bringing an APB to my doorstep. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. No, I'm gonna find out who ordered the hit on Niger and do some dentistry on him with power tools. She closes her eyes and smiles with pleasure. That boy was my favorite. He sang to me sometimes. She opens her eyes again and sneers. That other one, I don't care about. Godshot was an asshole. She turns away and waves you off with the back of her hand. That will be all, my darlings. Return to me when you are done. One last question, Auntie. She keeps her back to you, but you can tell she's making eye contact with her lieutenant. Why not? Apparently, I'm feeling generous today. What do you think happened to Raymond and got your Shadowruns killed? Kindly Cheng's voice is small. I don't know. Add a data stick and 3 karma gained. Enter the walled city and deliver a message to Strangler Bao. Kindly Cheng has her head buried in her PDA and her hand on her bottle. She doesn't look up at you. I think you have my business to attend to, Mamu. Now go away, I'm busy. Okay, let's check the guy at the medical parlor, or how it's called. The intercom buzzes to life. You again? Toad, I told you to fuck off. I'm doing a job for Kindly. A job for Kindly, huh? You and every other hood and the Kong. Come back if you get some wheels around here. Otherwise, fuck off. There's a burst of static and the intercom goes dead. The Tuk stops his earpiece, gestures with his head. Auntie Cheng said you'd be coming. You can pass. Uh-huh. Choosing your team. When traveling to new mission locations, you will be able to choose which members your team had to bring and modify their loadout for the run. When members of your team become permanently incapacitated on a mission, they'll be automatically extracted for emergency medical care. They will be patched up and ready for action next time you return to Hawaii. Avoid this loss of fiber by always carrying some dog wagon trauma kits into the field. So, who I will be taking with me? I'm Decker, he's security specialist, I take Shaman. That's it. You're about to travel to Walled City. Continue. And that was, ladies and gentlemen, the second part of my Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you did, feel free to follow me on Twitch or subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you soon and enjoy the rest of your day.